Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the book of the Revelation, chapter 5. Let's focus on verses 8 through 10. And then he took the scroll. The 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb. Each one had a harp and gold bowls filled with incense, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sang a new song. You are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, because you were slaughtered, and you redeemed people for God by your blood from every tribe and language and people and nation. You made them a kingdom and priests to our God, and they will reign on the earth. Now, as a musician, I am overjoyed by the fact that there are instruments in heaven. Let's just start with that. Because, I'll have a job. And I love music and how it resounds with us emotionally. Alongside prayer and music is a natural human conduit for worship. And when people feel happy, they sing. When they're sad, they sing. When they're celebrating victory or mourning a loss, or they're in the heat of competition, people look to music to facilitate the experience. And as a songwriter, I'm also glad to know that there is songwriting in heaven. The Apostle John describes a new song being sung in the heavens as God's prophecy unfolds. It makes sense, because if singing is a natural form of worship, well, then each time God reveals something new about himself, we respond with a new song. Now, I used to live under the assumption that once people enter heaven, they're somehow immediately fully aware of everything about God. And I don't know why, but I believe that everyone would be almost like eternally frozen in this perpetual state of worshipful awe. But obviously they aren't, because John describes some varied activities that he's witnessing that are going on in heaven. So perhaps that is a glimpse of what our time in heaven will be like. Instead of standing in a circle frozen in worship, maybe eternity with the Lord will be more kinetic with God, revealing facets of his infinite greatness to us. Now, I would assume that in response, we would be continually singing new songs. Every time he shows a new thing about himself, we're like, oh my goodness, let's sing about that. Either way, we'll know when we get there, won't we? And we'll sure be glad that we'll get there if our faith is in Jesus and his atoning righteousness. Now, in a sense, the experience of God's revelation happens to us already. God revealing himself more and more to us, even now on earth. The Apostle Paul told the church in Corinth, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 1, that before seeking after spiritual gifts, we should seek to prophesy, that God would reveal himself to us through his word, the Bible, in such a way that we could worship him deeper and share his gospel with others. So just when we think that we have God figured out and we fathom the depths of the Bible, well, then he reveals something new about himself. And then we're blown away all over again. And now that is something new to sing about. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people just like you. And yes, we need your monthly support. Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. Another way to help? Tell people about us. Share these podcasts with your friends and family. Post them on your social media. That's cool. Of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.